We build giant corporate and government entities powered by vast amounts of personal information and expect them to be transparent machines, making our lives safer and easier.
Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Guys, the channel is worse than it was before I started complaining about the channel. I don't know if the metrics that I'm looking at are bad, because that could be the case. The other night, they stopped working altogether. This is from YouTube. This is not my metrics. This is from YouTube. For 30 minutes, it said I had no views whatsoever on the channel. Now I know that's an impossibility. After about 10 more minutes, so that was 40 minutes, everything popped back on. I don't know if they were doing it, but I still lost. And my last video says I only have 100 views on the YouTube metrics. So I don't know if that's the YouTube metrics or not. However, that being said, only 30% of anything that I do, even normally, even without the adpocalypse, only 30% of people who watch my channel do I get paid from by advertisers. So all of you who are sitting through the advertisements are literally supporting the channel. Thank you all so much for that, first of all. But it's not enough. The channel is going to die without your donations. I don't understand how the other YouTubers can get thousands of dollars a month. Thousands. And what's funny is, I don't like to do it, but when I play video games, people donate $40 a pop. I mean, if that's the case, I'll just go over to my gaming channel and not even bother about this channel anymore. The social justice warriors are trying to take it out anyway. So here we are with another video that possibly will ruin the channel, but I think it's important information that you need to know, that you want to know. I know you want it because I know you guys. So CNN faced a $100 million lawsuit over a botched Russia story. Now, one of the other YouTubers did a CNN story, and they completely took the video down. We're not talking about demonetizing it. They completely took the video down. By the way, because I did not get support on the other video, YouTube trashed the video. It gave me the community strike about Maya Angelou. Only about 5 people said anything. Nobody's going to listen to 5 people. I don't care who they are. George Soros has to have an army. So let's carry on this. Thank you all for watching the Shakaama Live Show. Here we go. So I want you to pay attention to the trigger words in the article. The specter of a $100 million libel suit scared CNN into retracting a poorly reported story that slimed an ally of President Trump's and forcing out the staffers responsible for it. Now, this is from the New York Post. The cable network's coverage of Trump transition team member Anthony Scaramucci came amid federal scrutiny of corporate parent Time Warner's pending purchase by AT&T, and the widespread belief among media execs that CNN President Jeff Zucker can't survive a merger. CNN immediately caved after Scaramucci, a financier and frequent network guest, cried foul and threatened to take legal action, sources said about the incident. Scaramucci got an unusual public apology, but still hired a top Manhattan lawyer to put further pressure on CNN and look after his interest in the matter, one source said. Sources also said that 3 journalists responsible for the retracted story, reporter Tom Frank, editor Eric Lichtblau, and Lex Harris, who headed the CNN investigative unit, were urged to resign. Quote, they called them in and said they'd pay out their contracts, but they should leave immediately, one source said. Zucker was afraid of facing a high-profile suit from Scaramucci, while the U.S. Justice Department weighed the proposed $85.4 billion merger. Meanwhile, a CNN insider said staffers are furious at having lost the moral high ground because of the story. Sources said Zucker tried to rally his staff during a morning conference call. Quote, Zucker stressed that this issue was a lapse in editorial standards and said it was a lesson to all reporters and editors to continue to strive for strong, accurate reporting. Now, I want to point to you, maybe I'll include it in the video, I don't know if I will. I want to point to you one of the CNN reporters being completely blasted by one of her guests when she said the integrity of the stellar journalists here at CNN, and he said, "Everybody hates you. Nobody trusts you. They all think you lie. You're all liars." Now,
I'm sitting very quietly listening to all this BS, quite frankly. And did you listen to anything McMaster said today where he said, I was in the room, that didn't happen, nothing inappropriate was shared? You're basing all these allegations off of one or maybe two sources, which CNN reports. Two former officials knowledgeable of the situation confirmed to CNN that the main points of the story. Two former officials. Tell you what, come out, name those people, then we'll have something to talk about.
One, we protect sources. Two, it's not just CNN. It's Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, CNN, ABC,
yeah, but who
NBC.
are the sources?
Carl.
Who are the sources? Oh, because they're hiding behind this anonymity.
Oh,
and that's what we're seeing.
Please, do not even start with me that you're just going to attack sources.
Okay, so
that
what
is
about,
ridiculous.
so are you saying McMaster is lying?
I'm not saying McMaster is lying.
Well, he didn't really answer the question.
He didn't answer the question.
He said nothing inappropriate was shared.
No, that's his opinion.
That would be.
But that's his opinion.
You cannot say, you cannot attack.
Yeah.
Do not attack the stellar reporters of CNN who have their sources and would protect their
stellar reporters of CNN that I am going to attack right now and say, guess what? I don't believe them because they're staying anonymous. If they stand behind this story, come out, face the camera.
I want you also to pay attention to the reports of it's not WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks emailed me the other day. I don't know what that was about. It's not WikiLeaks. It's the other guy who does the hidden camera things. And they said there is no Russia story. It's all made up. It's all. The guy said it's a nothing burger.
So you believe like the Russia thing's a little crazy, right?
Even if Russia was trying to swing an election, we try to swing their elections. We're in our CIA and doing shit all the time. Like, we're out there trying to manipulate governments. Like,
I haven't seen any good evidence to show that the president committed a crime. I know a lot of people don't like him and they like to see him get kicked out of office.
That's what it seems like they're pushing.
But that's a lot different than that he actually did something that can get him kicked out of office.
Then why is CNN constantly like Russia this, Russia that?
Because it's ratings.
Because it's ratings?
Our ratings are incredible right now.
Because of
so my boss, I shouldn't say this. My boss a couple days yesterday, we were having a discussion about this dental shoot, and he's like, I just want you to know what we're up against here. And he goes, just to give you some context, President Trump pulled out of the climate accords, and for a day and a half we covered the climate accords, and the CEO of CNN said in our internal meeting, he said, good job everybody covering the climate accords, but we're done with it, let's get back to Russia.
the CEO?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So even the climate accords, he was like, okay, a day or so, but we're moving back to Russia.
So I understand it's all ratings, right?
Oh, it's a business. It's a business. People are like, the media has like an ethical, but all the nice cutesy little ethics that used to get talked about in journalism school, you're just like, that's adorable. That's adorable. Yeah, this is a business, especially cable news. You know, cable news isn't the New York Times, and it's not even like NBC News. I mean, NBC News still gets 20 million viewers a night. Cable news is getting 1 million. So, like they gotta do what they gotta do to make their money.
I think that there are a lot of like liberal CNN viewers who want to see Trump really get scrutinized, and I think if we would have behaved that way with President Obama and scrutinized everything that he was doing with as much scrutiny as we applied to Donald Trump, I think our viewers would have been turned off. I think they would have thought like we were attacking him. But I think our viewers right now, and I'm not saying all of our viewers are like super liberals. Right. I think there's just a lot of them, and
so Trump's good for business, you're saying?
Trump is good for business right now.
But honestly, you think the whole Russia shit is just like bullshit?
Could be bullshit. I mean, it's mostly bullshit right now. Like, we don't have any big giant proof But then they say, well, there's still an investigation going on. And you're like, yeah. I don't know. If you were finding something, we'd know about it. The way these leaks happen, they'd leak it. It'd leak. If there was something really good, it would leak. I just feel like they don't really have it, but they want to keep digging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the president is probably right to say, like, look, you are witch hunting me. Like, you have no smoking gun. You have no real proof.
At last week's Cannes Lions Festival in France, where Zucker boasted that viewers trusted CNN more than ever, rumors were rife that he'd be out of a job if the AT&T deal went through. Quote, it's not just Jeff Zucker. All Time Warner execs are anxious about if they will survive the merger, a media source said. What's interesting is that AT&T execs who will decide who goes and who stays are AT&T CEO Randall Stephenson and AT&T Entertainment Group CEO John Stankey, who have a very good relationship with the current administration. Talking about Trump. Trump, a fierce critic of CNN, publicly opposed the merger during the campaign, sources said. Scaramucci, a frequent guest on CNN to defend the president, was treated like a star at Saturday's wedding of Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin, and Louise Linton of Washington, D.C. Quote, everyone at the White House has been high-fiving each other over another Anthony's success in embarrassing CNN. Trump is thoroughly enjoying this, and Anthony got endless slaps on the back at Steve's wedding. The retracted story was based on a single anonymous source who claimed that Senate Intelligence Committee was probing ties between Trump administration and a Russian government-owned investment fund. The story posted on CNN.com also claimed the Treasury Department was believed to be investigating Scaramucci over a purported January 16 meeting with the fund's director general. In an editor's note posted, CNN said the story had been deleted for not meeting, quote, editorial standards, with the network later revealing a breakdown in pre-publication vetting that typically involved fact-checkers, journalism standards, experts, and lawyers. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders said she wasn't sure if CNN's handling of the matter was good enough for her boss, who went on a Twitter tirade against the news channel earlier that day. Quote, I think that we have gone to a place where if the media can't be trusted to report the news, then that's a dangerous place for America. And I think if that's the place that certain outlets are going, particularly for purposes of spiking ratings, and if that's coming directly from the top, I think that's even more scary. I think that we should take a really good look at what we are focused on and where we are covering, and making sure that it's actually accurate and it's honest. CNN's retraction of the Scaramucci story was the latest in a string of recent embarrassments, including the firing earlier this month of Believer series host Reza Aslan after he called Trump a piece of S on Twitter. Who does that? What was going on in his brain that he thought that was A-okay to do? The network also fired comedian Kathy Griffin, longtime co-host of the New Year's Eve coverage, over a photo that showed her posing with a prop resembling Trump's. Everybody knows what she was holding, and had to own up to a story that incorrectly predicted what fired FBI Director James Comey would testify of before Congress. So they had predicted that Comey was going to be the death of Trump. I mean, a metaphorical death, not real death. The political death of Trump. When in fact Comey said no, I assured him 3 separate times that he was not under investigation. But CNN reported that he said the exact opposite. CNN did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Following the apology, Scaramucci tweeted that CNN did the right thing. Classy move. Apology accepted. Everyone makes mistakes. Moving on. On Tuesday, he retweeted a message from CNN Reliable Sources host Brian Stelter saying that nothing in my story should be taken to imply that Scaramucci is under investigation, as well as as a meme portraying Trump as Batman driving the Batmobile. Here's the truth of the matter. Nobody is investigating Trump. Nobody has ever been investigating Trump. Comey was not investigating Trump. The FBI was not investigating Trump. The Attorney General's office was not investigating Trump. Nobody's investigating Trump. CNN keeps reporting that there's some sort of collusion between Trump and Russia. It's a nothing burger. There is nothing between Russia and Trump. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even when they came out with the story that, was it Donald Trump Jr.? Met with the Russian attorney, the people who arranged the meeting were Hillary Clinton's, is the same team that put together the story about Trump and Russia and the prostitutes that turned out to be to lead up to the meme where Trump calls BuzzFeed fake news. You're fake news.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance
terrible.
to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate.
That's the same exact company that arranged the meeting between Trump Jr. and the Russian lawyer. Come to find out, Hillary Clinton and the Clinton team met with her multiple, many times. And so did Obama. So did the DNC. And the DNC hired that company to do all of the fake news stories. The image of Trump as Batman also shows Vice President Mike Pence as Robin holding the bat phone and saying, sorry he can't talk right now, he's busy winning. If that's not irony, I don't know what is. Okay guys, be sure to like the video. I need your participation, your cooperation. Also, I'm announcing that I'm going to be doing something for super fans. If you are a Twitter follower, you are considered a super fan. And so I will be announcing stuff on Twitter for all of my super fans, prizes and gifts and contests and so forth and so on. So be sure to follow me on Twitter at Shakaama, any social media really. Anyway, thank you all for listening. What do you think of this $100 million lawsuit? Thank you.